Hi, welcome to another episode of Nerd Supernova. I am your host, Paul Michaels, and
I'm KJ McDermott.
who's the co-host?
Yeah.
Anyway, continuing the theme this month of Batman and Superman, we've kind of gone over the best and worst as far as the movies are concerned. So I guess we would try different areas. We could go into comics, but honestly,
we never went into TV shows.
Yeah, I guess we didn't. That'll be next week. We'll go
Sure, we can do that next week.
We'll go into the TV shows. Yeah, because we talk about the animated stuff,
Yeah.
but not as much. Anyway,
The live action.
yeah, like Adam West or George Reeves or whatever you want to talk about. But yeah, so this week is primarily video games done with Superman and Batman. For better or worse, yeah. I mean, okay, let's start on a positive note, I guess.
All of the Batman ones.
No, I mean, there were a lot of shitty Batman games before, the Arkham series. I remember when Arkham Asylum came out, and it looked cool, but I was just I didn't go out and get it, because I knew the trend at that point was, if it was a licensed game, especially with superheroes, chances were it was going to suck. And I didn't have a chance to really play the old Spider-Man games that you told me about that were, pretty good at that point.
I enjoyed the Spider-Man games, but then you also had, the Iron Man games, which were terrible.
Oh, yeah. No. What I'm saying is, the Spider-Man games are, the exception to, that rule, basically, of, shitty superhero games. But, yeah, so the Arkham games came out, or the first Arkham game came out, and it was, a roaring success. It was, getting, perfect scores across the board, pretty much. And, yeah, and then I played it, I thought it was amazing. Arkham City was even better. And then Arkham Knight is kind of like the Return of the Jedi one. It's it has good qualities to it, and the gameplay is fun, but
But unfortunately, there's Ewoks.
No, the Ewok...
Batman fighting Ewoks.
Strangely enough, the Ewok of Arkham Knight is the Batmobile. You wouldn't think that. You would think, oh, no, it's they even give you... Because they were catering to fans, because they knew fans wanted, all of Gotham City, and they wanted the Batmobile. So they're okay, that's our next mission, is to do that. And they did, and they made those things. Where they fucked up, instead of you just having fun, in the Batmobile at your discretion, they tried to... Because they knew that everyone was so used to just flying around as Batman, that they probably wouldn't use the Batmobile that much, even though they put all this effort into it. So they incorporated the Batmobile into certain missions. And it's a pain in the ass, especially it's not vital to the story, but the Riddler missions, there's so many that you have to use the Batmobile, and you have to ride.
Where they're booby-trapped racetracks.
Oh, it's so horrible. It was painful, and it really brings the game down. The rest of the gameplay, though, which is all the detective stuff, which they incorporate other stuff too, because there's the Batman Origins game in the Arkhamverse, which was not made by them. But it takes place in the same universe, or the same Batverse, and they connected. They took certain gameplay aspects from that, the best of that game, and then brought it into the new one, and it was really good. And I thought they incorporated that really well. And the story itself is okay. It's not as good as Arkham City. The other problem too with Arkham Knight is they had animated series writer and comic book writer of Batman, Paul Dini, write Arkham Asylum and write Arkham City, and they're both, you can tell, very well crafted stories and very well done, and they're just fun to experience as well to play. And Arkham Knight, Rocksteady used in-house writers rather than Paul Dini, and Paul Dini had nothing bad to say about it. He was just that's fine, and he moved on. He has other stuff going on, but you can tell. Right off the bat, it's different writers. You can just tell the rhythm of the game. It still plays well for the most part, but yeah, I mean overall it's a good series. But yeah, Arkham Knight kind of falls flat on. I
also heard there's a bunch of jump scares with the Joker, randomly popping out of nowhere.
Well, the thing is, you've told me some stuff, but you haven't actually. Well, you haven't played City or Night, right?
No.
Correct. Yeah. So I'm trying to not spoil things for you.
Care.
You don't really care? Alright.
I know the Joker dies in the second one?
Yeah, he dies. He dies at the end of the second one. And, okay, spoilers, by the way. We'll put a spoilers tag just in case. Oopsies. But yeah, he comes back to Batman as a hallucination.
Yeah.
That follows him around, from the halfway point of the game to the end, basically. And, you can tell, the Joker is, his anti-psychosis, his, bringing him down and, reflecting on his worst failures and aspects and stuff. and it gets incorporated too because again, spoilers. Arkham Knight, the Arkham Knight, like your main nemesis that you're fighting, is basically is it's the Arkhamverse version of Jason Todd, and he becomes Red Hood by the end of the game, which is nice. And then you team up against the real bad guy, who is Scarecrow, and it's kind of underwhelming. That's basically.
That was
Yeah, the problem is with the Joker, and I love the Joker. Don't get me wrong, especially as a Batman fan. I know you love the Joker. The problem is that he's such a good villain that anyone who has to follow him, it's sort of underwhelming.
Yeah.
You know, it's not really like the writer's fault so much. It's just following him up is like a really hard thing to do, unless it's like inner turmoil Batman type of deal, which they kind of go into in Arkham Knight a little bit, but it is what it is. That being said, the story is really good, but the gameplay is really good overall in the Arkham series. Very well done. A huge step up from stuff that had come before, and it revolutionized that type of gameplay, where even like other games like Shadow of Mordor like stole aspects of like the fighting system and whatnot. That was revolutionary. But yeah, it's just really good Batman games. What else we want? Oh yeah, so we wanted to talk about Injustice, correct?
Well, I've only seen clips of it and stuff, and it's like a fighting game.
Yeah.
Graphics look good.
Yeah.
But then again, it's like all of these series always come out with like a fighting game, and it's like if you remember the old Star Wars fighting game that was terrible.
I never saw that. Well, I mean, I can tell you personally that I own Injustice as well, and I think it's a fun fighting game. I mean, now granted, like I would say that I am a novice video game guy. Like I own a lot of video games, but I am nowhere near like a master. Like I don't know everything about a game or whatever. Like at least compared to some of my friends. That being said, I had a fun time playing Injustice. I think it's very well done, and because I know you know me, I know the DC lore. The guys making it are the same guys who have been making the new Mortal Kombat games.
Mm-hmm.
And the first thing that they said in interviews when the game was coming out is like, "Oh no, I think DC fans are really going to enjoy it because DC Comics really let us go all out. Like we kept asking questions, can we do this with Superman's cape, or can we make it look a certain way? Can we make reference to this or that?" And they're like, "Oh yeah, go right ahead. Just have it be like a fan service type of game. Like make all these fun things happen." And it's great because when you play it, there's certain things you can unlock if you hit them a certain way. You knock them off where you're fighting, and you go into different aspects of either that area or even that world. For instance, if you're fighting in the Batcave, you can kick somebody and they go down to the second level of the Batcave.
They have that in a lot of different fighting games. You do that. Like,
oh, okay. See, but again, like I don't know because I'm not into big fighting games.
Dates back to like I think like the original Mortal Kombat.
Really?
Yeah, you can punch people through walls
I only thought you could just stay on the one
or
plateau.
you could smash them down through something and you'd be on a different stage.
Really?
Yeah,
that's cool. Okay. Well, either way, it's a lot of fun. There's even like
maybe it was the second Mortal Kombat. I think it was the second one.
I was gonna say because I don't remember that in the. Well, then again, I'm not even that.
But even still, that's a long time.
Yeah, it's very long. But yeah, like there's a lot of fun stuff though. But like it makes references to everything. There's like a thing where you're fighting in like Metropolis or something, and there's like a battle of people going on behind you. And if you hit someone, they go outside the screen, and then they get hit by like the Atom Smasher and like a bunch of different other characters. You can't play as them, but it's just them being there is kind of cool. There's a lot of interesting stuff like that. You can hurt somebody, and they go through what's called the boom tube, and someone goes on Apocalypse and then gets destroyed by Darkseid, and then gets thrown back into the ring.
Well, yeah, but the thing that I find always goofy in those types of games, where it's like you're allowed to do like the multiplayer and stuff, it's if you had the Joker versus Superman in like a death match.
Oh no,
it's pretty one-sided.
I was gonna say like that's the fun aspect of it. Now you can do that battle, but they actually explain it though too. It's funny, like even they just like any
did they like create a character for the game who's like, I'm subduing your powers to fight each other in combat,
something like that. But no, it's so they have like any other fighting game. They actually have a story, and the story is actually pretty fun. Even so much so they released a comic related to the game, and the comic is actually still doing like pretty decently as far as of right now. But no, yeah. So there's this thing it's an alternate DC universe, and I think they literally get like super powered pills. Like they can eat the pill and they can like withstand a lot of damage and stuff like that. So like the smaller characters like Harley Quinn or Joker can stand up against Superman or whatever. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's still no, but this is the funny thing though too is that each attack has their certain varied differences and whatnot. But it all works too. If you get a certain combo, a character will act out like a way to like beat up on somebody. Like the Joker will punch them with like a crowbar and then shoot them with a giant bazooka. If Harley Quinn does it, she'll go right under their legs. Yeah, she'll have the mallet, but then she'll go under their legs and she'll leave like a giant dynamite pie underneath them, and then they it'll blow up under their legs or something. I don't know. Like you can tell there's attention to detail as far as the DC universe is concerned. There's a lot of fan service, and I really like that as far as the fighting game was concerned. And it's a fun game. I'm still waiting on Injustice 2. I'll definitely get that when that comes out. Do you have any other questions as far as Injustice? Because I know you haven't played the game.
No. No. It just reminds me of back in the day we used to play a really shitty X-Men fighting game that was like the same type of thing.
Well, no, they have Marvel vs. Capcom still, though, right?
No, I'm talking about, I think, back like GameCube. Like, I used to play some shitty X-Men fighting game.
Yeah, Marvel, unfortunately, hasn't caught up yet as far as making good Marvel games, apart from maybe Marvel vs. Capcom. I know there's probably... Oh, and I guess the old Spider-Man as well.
I don't know of very many Marvel video games.
That are, like, good?
No, in general.
I mean, the last big one that came out was like X-Men Destiny, and I've heard that just was awful.
X-Men Legends was good. That was fun.
What was that one for?
That was for GameCube. That was like an RPG where you could have like a team of 4 and you could level them up and do different stuff. They made a sequel to it too.
Oh, okay. I think I might have heard of that. Maybe I'll check that out.
That one was a lot of fun. I liked it.
Okay.
But not to get off topic.
No, well let's go back to Batman Superman. Now, obviously, I immediately realized after we made the idea to do the video game podcast, I realized there aren't too many Superman video games.
There's 0 good ones.
There's 0 good ones, yes. There's like movie tie-ins, like the Returns one that has like good aspects, I guess. There's like one where you can fly around the city and it's actually done pretty well. I've never actually played that one. The only one I have played, unfortunately, and you'll agree with me on this, is Superman 64 for the N64.
Which is just god awful.
Yeah, it is one of the worst games. I mean, you don't have to listen to me. You can go on any forum, any video game, anything, and it always makes like the top 10 list of like worst games ever made. I am angry at myself because I was like, how old would I have been? I'm going to say I was about 10 or 11. Maybe 12. I didn't know any better. I didn't know about licensed games sucking, and they had it in box at like a pawn shop, and I saw it, and I was like, "Oh, it's like $20. Cool. I'll get Superman
$20
or something like
Jesus.
that." I don't know. It was a while back, but and I was a big fan of the animated Superman. It's based off the animated Superman series, and it had that picture of him with the
opening his shirt up with the Superman underneath.
And I was so like, oh, this would be cool, and got it, and immediately regretted it. And then I tried to return it, and they wouldn't. I think they did take it back, but for much less money. So at least I got some kind of refund.
Like you bought it at GameStop, so you bought it for $20, and when you return it, it's like, here's 50 cents.
Yeah, they gave me like $5, I think, back. But it was this place called Cash Converters, which is now I think defunct or something. Anyway. But yeah, I remember bringing it home and couldn't get past the first level of like you flying through rings. The only thing that was even mildly entertaining about it was there was like a versus where you could like fly around, I guess Brainiacs or some place, I don't know what it was, some space station or something, and you could like try to kill each other, But even killing each other was like ridiculous. You had to like fly into one another or something, or you had to. I think you could shoot at some. I don't know. It was kind of dumb. It was the only like.
The thing is that the graphics are terrible.
Oh, it was really bad, even for then.
Glitches like everywhere. There's so many glitches, even just like in the first 10 seconds.
I remember
you can glitch out.
I remember on the back of the box, it showed a picture of Superman lifting a car, like in game, And I was like, I'm never gonna get to that. I'm like, even if it's there, I'm like, can I can never get past the rings. Just keep going in circles. I'm not, yeah, and not even that. Like you said, like glitches. The flying controls were terrible.
Horrible.
It was just
horrible.
I had never really experienced like a really horrible video game before. Like I thought they were always like put out to make it at least somewhat playable, and it wasn't even playable. And I was like, who made this?
This is like like a fanboy made it in his basement. But then he got bored after 10 minutes, and so he was just like, it's acceptable. Like,
we're going to sell this to Warner Brothers Studios. And they're like, we'll buy it. I don't know. Yeah, it was just really bad. I don't know. Can you think of any other things that stuck out for you as far as that game goes?
I didn't even get far in the game enough to remember a lot of. We got
no. Like, did you get to a point where he lifted a car or moved a car?
That's in the first level.
It's in the first level.
That's in
okay.
Like, the first level.
Never even got that far for me.
Yeah.
Okay.
But even that, like, you just like fly into it and you pick it up.
Yeah.
Like it's not even like you have to fly up to it and like press a button. You just like fly into it and you're just like, oh, it's now in my hands. It's like, okay.
Imagine if they did that. Imagine if they did that in Man of Steel. He just flies into a car and then he just magically picks it up, and it's just like what?
Right? Like it's just magic. He just like he's flying so fast. He's like Neo from the Matrix, and all the cars are just like swirling behind him and stuff. And he's just like, I'm Superman. Never mind if there were people in these cars. I'm gonna throw it and kill them to save this other person. It's like
that was like from the third one, right? That's how was that
the second one.
Oh god. You know what I'm really hoping? Just off topic here. I think this is true. Matrix Reloaded is the highest grossing R-rated movie ever, and I think Deadpool is like 50 million away from outgrossing it.
Oh, I thought it already did.
No, worldwide it made like 752 million, and Deadpool's at like past 700.
Past 700 already, I know that.
So if Deadpool could just end and like beat that as the highest grossing rated R movie, that would be amazing.
That would be super awesome.
Super awesome. But yeah, like so just off topic, back on topic. But yeah, it's good to see Zack Snyder. I mean, not make everything look like a video game. Like he has used the right effects to make Superman as we wanted him in the comics, or look at how he looked in the comics, and not have it just be a Neo nightmare. But that being said, that's the opposite of what we ever had in Superman 64 as far as a video game.
Well, I'll be surprised if they come out with a Batman Superman video game.
I think that's what they want to do down the line. I've heard different rumors because Rocksteady said Arkham Knight was going to be their last Batman game, but I've already heard they want to make another one, or they're going to. I don't know if it's like studio pressure or whatever, because I know Batman sells. It would be
cool if they made another like Arkham game, but then after you beat it, if there's like an unlockable where it's like Superman mode, and you can replay the whole game as Superman. And,
it's like, done in like an hour.
And like you can like fly around and like do the same type of missions, but maybe like up the difficulty a bit, and like the bad guys have better aim or more health or something. That's
the thing though, like Rocksteady's really got the formula down. They really make good games for the most part. Even Knight with all of its flaws, I still enjoyed the game for the most part. Like I'd love to see them tackle like Green Lantern or Superman, even like other type of vigilante heroes, like make a Nightwing game or a Green Arrow game or something like that. That'd be sick. But yeah, like honestly though, like DC
they make a Flash game and it's pretty much a rip off of Sonic the Hedgehog.
Well, have you played any of the?
Just hold down right and he just runs across the screen.
Have you played any of the Saints Row games?
No.
Okay, in like the third one, as like a thing, and then later it's in the fourth one, you get super speed and you can just race around the city. And I think that's what they could do for Flash. I think it's really possible that they could make it work and make it look good. But yeah, like honestly, I think DC and Warner Brothers know they could just give them any hero and just see what the best they could do. Like they could literally just make they bought Rocksteady Studios the minute Arkham Asylum did well, and now they work in collaboration with WB Games, and WB Games is the one that made Arkham Origins. And I guess they're going to be making a Superman game. That's the rumor. They want to make a Superman game.
Well, I'm waiting for a game like GTA 5.
Yeah.
Where like the three protagonists, where you can do Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Have like the three kind of different storylines in the same giant map.
Yeah.
And you can switch between them and have them.
That's what they wanted to do. That's what fans wanted them to do in Arkham Knight, and you can kind of do that. Like you still get Robin missions, you still get Catwoman missions and stuff like that. And you could go in between Catwoman and Batman, but Catwoman had much smaller, like out of the way missions type of deal.
Yeah.
And that's honestly what they should just do. Like honestly, just if it's gonna be Batman again, have it be Batman and all of his Robins. Have it be like Jason Todd. Have it be Nightwing, and you could do that too. You could be Jason Todd in Arkham Knight after you get him in being, after Arkham Knight is over, and you can have him go around and do Jason Todd missions too. Like you could download them later. I have to go back and see what I can still download from Arkham Knight. I think my 6 months of free stuff is over though, so I'll have to see what I can get. But yeah, they did a lot of good fan service on Arkham Knight though too. Afterwards, I mean, granted they'll probably release like a Game of the Year edition and have all of it on one thing anyway, but it's still cool to get a lot of the stuff. You can now dress up as Michael Keaton Batman. You can get the Batman '89 Batmobile and the Tumbler and everything else. You can get the Christian Bale Batman as well. So that's pretty cool as far as that's concerned. But I still love to see like them take on other heroes. Like I'd rather Rocksteady was working on the Superman game themselves rather than like WB games. But that's that's all just rumors. So we'll see.
It'd be cool if they made a Spider-Man game, like Shattered Dimensions, where it had like 4 different versions of Spider-Man.
Yeah, I heard about that.
They did that with Batman and had like 8 different versions of Batman.
Dude, they could do 20. Like literally.
Well, I'm just thinking like.
No, but I'm just saying
simple enough.
Oh, I know, but I'm just saying there's so many cool different versions of Batman.
I think that we can leave out Val Kilmer and George Clooney.
Yeah, I didn't see those on Arkham Knight. I think they just stuck with Michael Keaton.
If you do like Michael Keaton, and you do like
that's the thing too.
Comic book Batman, you do Adam West, Michael Keaton.
I think they had it in Arkham City though. I'm trying to remember or not, but you can wear the the Adam West costume.
Yeah.
But it looks all bulky and insane. On
it looks like Adam West on steroids.
Pretty much, yeah. It's like imagine the Arkham version Batman with like the Adam West costume, and that's basically it. Yeah.
Football player Adam West.
Pretty much, yeah. It's but yeah, like I said, fan service was really good. I just want more DC games that are just awesome. I mean, I'd like Marvel to get good too, because I think Activision finally lost the rights to Spider-Man or to Marvel games, so I think Marvel is gonna rework that maybe, but I don't know off the top of my head.
Maybe they've just given up.
I doubt it. I feel if DC's making money on video games, Marvel's going to want to do whatever they can to get on top of that, or and it would be the same way, vice versa. But yeah, I don't know. Any closing thoughts as far as any other games?
It.
All right, yeah, this is definitely going to be a MiniPod. I feel.
Yeah.
So.
I didn't expect us to be talking for a long time about
video games. Well,
there's not that many to talk about.
Yeah.
I mean,
okay.
Unless we really start going back into like the old shitty handhelds.
I don't even remember that, or let alone.
Like
I have my Game Boy still.
That like they also came out with like Beauty and the Beast ones and like stuff. You don't remember those old crappy handhelds?
Oh wait, are you talking about the ones that like it wasn't like an actual like Game Boy game?
No, it wasn't like a real video game.
It was like a thing like where they would move on like one thing. Then those were. Oh man, I saw like a. What was it called? Like a retrospective, like look back, like the Angry Video Game Nerd did it on those, and he was like, "There's so many of these. They're just so shitty."
Yeah, they made them for everything.
Everything, like every bad thing.
Ooh, they could do a Ninja Turtles Batman game now.
Well, we talked about this. They have the Ninja Turtles game.
Yeah.
That came out, or that's going to come out. It's done by the same guys that did Transformers Devastation, which
that it looks comic-y.
Yeah. It's going to come out soon. I think sometime later this year. I forget the actual release date, but I can't wait for that. But yeah, a Batman Ninja Turtles game would be pretty sick.
Awesome.
Yeah, they kind of tried to do like an Arkham style thing. Like it was based off like the new series, and it was downloadable for Xbox 360, but it was really just kind of a shitty game. It was like, it was like okay, but I barely even went that far into it because it was like, So, anyway, that's all I got to say on that.
Or they could go back to the old comics that they came out the crossover once, where it's like
the Mirage,
Batman versus Alien, or Batman versus Predator.
Yeah, man. I mean, if they can get Alien versus Predator in Mortal Kombat, they could probably for something else. I don't know. We'll see how that goes. All right. Anyway. I'm sorry. I got.
I'm
Yeah,
done.
I'm out of it. I got nothing.
Now I'm just rambling.
Okay. Anyway, have a good one, guys.
Bye.